Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to Nine Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. Seeing videos of these women, white women, actually coming out to tell Black people that racism died with Gen X, that it's no longer, there is no longer anything like racism, that Black people are making it up. Stop talking about it because you all are ignorant of what you talk about. Racism, it's no longer alive. And why she talked about that, and then she went further to say that they feel like Black people judge them all the time, and went further to with everything she talked about Black people that is not good things. She talked about people that look like me, and then went further to say that we love you people, right? And not just that she love you people. Then she understands that there is need for everybody to embrace whatever difference that comes with maybe white, black, and all that. Now, I am going to tell my people something. There are some people that you can never be in community with, not because you choose to be maybe a bad person or choose to be on your own, but because being in community with them will never fetch you anything. And because you know them better than they know themselves, and you are always able to dictate them from far away, that also tells a lot. You know what? Let's get into this.
Dear Black people, could you stop making videos that say, "Dear white people, if you don't have a problem with people that look like me, would you be my friend?" Racism died with Gen X. As a widespread issue, that was boomers. It died with Gen X. Most of us are grandparents now, and apparently you didn't even notice. Like, we put in the work. We stopped judging people by the color of their skin, and you didn't even notice. But now we feel your judgment all the time, and we're tired of walking on eggshells because we know there's a very good chance that you probably have a problem with our skin color, and because you assume that we're racist while you're being racist. It died down so much that now youth, a lot of white youth, uses the N-bomb. I can't imagine doing that. I can't. It hurts me, but they use it casually. It's not because they're racist. Nope. It's because it's a huge part of pop culture, and it has been for 30 years, over 30 years, since hip-hop went mainstream, since gangster rap went mainstream, and the word was everywhere. And kids today are baffled by racism. They think it's so stupid that it's laughable. Yet there's a word that is ubiquitous in pop culture that a large percentage of the population just isn't permitted to use. They don't understand that. They think it's ridiculous, so they rebel against it, as kids do when they don't understand something and they see it as ridiculous and dumb. You can feel how you feel about that. I feel how I feel about it. I don't like it at all. I taught my kids to never say that word because it was a word that was created for hate. But the word has changed, I guess. I can't change the way I view it, but for them it's changed. Dear Black people, oh, I love you. I love your culture. I love your swagger. I love your hair. I love how you can speak with roundness while I speak in squares and triangles. But I also love my culture, and I love my hair, and I love my skin, and I love your skin, and I love our differences and our commonalities. And it's time to heal. If you don't focus on healing how you view white people, and then how you view yourselves in relation to white people, because the superiority complex only ever masks an inferiority complex, then we're going to be doing a civil rights movement for white people in like 20, 30 years. And I know some of you would like that. But that just says that you're the racist now because white people aren't the racist anymore. And I'm not saying there isn't a single white person who's racist. There's assholes in every group and every color. But the majority of us, left that with our parents or grandparents. It doesn't even make sense to us. And we don't need to feel guilty about what our ancestors did because we're the ones that fixed it. It's over now. Unless you want to perpetuate it. Black people, could you stop making videos that say, "Dear white people, if you don't have a problem with people that look like me, would you be my friend?" Racism died with Gen X. As a widespread issue, that was boomers. It died with Gen X. Most of us are grandparents now, and apparently you didn't even notice.
Now, I'm sure you all have seen that video and a lot of commentary on that video, but you all don't come to my page to get the same commentary you can get somewhere else. So let's get it. Understand, this woman probably considers herself a white liberal, and this is one of the reasons why I don't follow white liberals. That said, two things can be true at the same time. Her opening statement about, "Dear black people, could you stop making videos asking white people if they don't have a problem with the color of your skin? Can you be friends?" She has a point, because that is some of the weakest shit I've ever seen. And mostly it's done by rocket raccoons or people desperate for acceptance. Now let's just get to the disingenuous part of her video when she talks about racism has died out with the boomers. It was mostly their thing. And Generation X has moved on to become grandparents. Generation X represents 64 million Americans, or nearly 20% of the population still. And when is it that you all thought that you all made this transition into a post-racial society? Let's just go by 1980 standards. Now, I like to do things by numbers and with stats, and that might be intellectually challenged to some, but let's get it. So by the numbers, the 119th Congress is composed of 41% Gen Xers. It is the largest single percentage of the makeup of Congress, followed by boomers at 39%. But here's the thing. Millennials make up 15%. So collectively with Generation X and millennials, you have over 56% of the 119th Congress made up of people born after 1965. And since she said that racism was mostly a boomer thing and Generation Xers have moved on, then moving on might mean that they had, worked to solve racism, right? So that means that there shouldn't have been a redlining case settled in 2023. That would mean they wouldn't be supporting restrictive laws gutting the Voting Rights Act. That would mean they had passed legislation to address the racial wealth gap in this country. James Byrd Jr. wouldn't have been dragged behind that truck in Jasper, Texas for miles if racism didn't exist, right? I mean, if racism didn't exist, the last school in Mississippi to be desegregated wouldn't have been in 2017, right? Of course, if racism didn't exist, thanks to you Generation Xers, then I'm sure there would be legislation to fund research into why so many black women die during pregnancy and childbirth, 4 times the rate of white women. And wait, we're not just going to speed past the fact that these tiki torch carrying white supremacists that marched through Charlottesville in 2017 are your children. Yeah, these are your children. So not only did you not do a good job with racism, you just bred the next generation of racists. You really can't make this up. You really can't. Now, I'm going to need all you white liberals that think she was on to something. I'm going to need you all to run along. You're dismissed.
Say her name. Just like we did Breonna Taylor, say her name. She is not just a woman. She was a black woman by the name of Adriana Smith. Adriana Smith is a 30-year-old woman, mother, and registered nurse that lived in Atlanta, Georgia, that has been brain deceased for the past 90 days. But she is forcefully being kept on life support in Georgia due to a heartbeat law, because the primary focus is the fact that when she got ill and passed away, unfortunately, and left behind an entire family and a child, she was 9 weeks pregnant with her spouse. And that is the focus that Georgia believes that they have to focus on. Not letting the family seek peace, making sure that she carries out her pregnancy deceased. So let's first speak on the fact of why is this woman deceased. This was a 30-year-old, again, registered nurse, black woman. And I'll get back to why it's important to mention that she was a black woman in all of this situation, who began to experience intense headaches early February. And when she reached out to Northside Hospital in Atlanta to get help, they did no checks on her. She was not taken care of. She was not thoroughly investigated and looked at. No CT scans, no nothing. And it found out that she had, I believe, blood clots in her brain, which ultimately they sent her home with medication. And in the middle of the night, her significant other had to call the ambulance. And ultimately, when they figured everything out, this woman could no longer survive. There's a lot about this that I have to say. And I have to organize my thoughts. Give me a second. Because this is not just speaking out for me as a black woman that works in healthcare at the age of 31. This is about watching my grandmother, who is 85 years old right now, be so disappointed and believe that everything that she's worked hard for black people, for black women specifically, gone down the drain. This is about my sisters, literally, my sister, literally, my niece that will grow up, my cousins, my friends that are black women. And again, I will get back to important as why mentioning that was a black woman is relative, because I know a lot of you begin to believe that it has nothing to do. This is just about womanhood. Again, I repeat that this woman has been brain deceased for months and has been kept on a machine by a hospital because of a heartbeat law. Her family cannot grieve. They cannot bury her. They cannot move forward because the state has decided that her body isn't hers anymore. She has become an incubator, legally, mechanically, and you might as well say she's being used as a political football, a black woman. This is not about the law. This is not about just one life. This is about control by any means necessary. Let's really think about this for a second. The state owns her until the deed is done. That's how she's being seen as, used as a tool. You can call it Christian nationalism. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. But at its core, it is the dehumanization of women, especially black women, through weaponized faith and unchecked power. These are the same people that claim to cherish life, but are dishonoring, literally, family and the deceased as we speak. And it's ironic because in my years growing up in the beginning in the church in a very much religious form, I could have sworn that Christianity were some of the same people that didn't believe in playing God. And that this would be seen as considered as artificial means of keeping somebody alive. Let them go home and let them speak to their maker. Let them rest peacefully. This is not no fucking novel. I don't want to hear nobody talk about no Handmaid's Tale. This is not no sci-fi. This is not no dystopian fiction of anything. This is our reality. And who is going to take care of this child that will possibly, if it even survives, come out with significant health issues and special needs? An already traumatized and stressed family who's already taking care of this woman's child and has to mourn in the way that they will be? Who will receive the health insurance that these same people are trying to strip, Medicaid and stuff, that will most likely be significant to this child and his survival? What is this? Keeping this family in a financial situation of turmoil Because who's going to be responsible for all of these medical bills? They're certainly not doing this out of the grace of their heart. We have re-entered the dawn of day where this country has officially back to using black women as a science experiment again. And this is why it's significant that we mention that this was a black woman. Our black women and children are at the forefront again of being used as science experiments. We are no longer human beings. We are property that they can use for research and for the greater good. Because honestly, how well do you think that this child or this unborn child is thriving in a womb of a deceased person without proper nutrients? This child is doomed for destiny. Destiny is doomed if, again, it survives. So I say all this to say again, my sisters, I don't know, honestly, what resistance looks like at this point. But I know that silence is not the way to go. I know complicity is not the way to go. The issues have officially reached our doorstep. We are at a point where we need to put the fucking fans down. Because if we do not use this opportunity to draw a line in the fucking sand, not just for yourself, but for the women around you, the black women around you, your black daughters, nieces, cousins, your sisters, best friends, aunts, and everybody else, we are absolutely inviting an impending doom quicker. Because once a state can claim our bodies deceased or alive, the thought process of freedom, the thought process of living peacefully as black women, being able to do anything, is officially gone. And it is nowhere even in sight.
I have seen entirely too many videos on this app in this week of white people calling black people racist. They are in real time trying to change what racism look like. And they're calling black people racist for stuff like saying that white women shouldn't wear braids. A black man said that he doesn't move out of the way for white people on the sidewalk. So here's a white man saying, oh, this is why racism still exists. A black man saying that he doesn't move out of the way of white people because too often black people have talked about how they can be walking down the street or walking anywhere and white people will act like they don't see them and they will continue to move. They will continue to walk, like they will try to walk through you. And also because if you didn't know, customary during segregation, black people would have to get off of the sidewalk if they saw a white person and move out of their way. So now your brains have been trained that y'all don't have to move out of people's way. So now black people are course correcting. Course correction is not racism. So because he said that's racism. That's why we still have racism. It wasn't because of slavery. It wasn't because of segregation. It wasn't because of Jim Crow. It wasn't because of redlining. It wasn't from y'all burning crosses on our lawns. It wasn't from your grandparents hanging our grandparents in trees. It wasn't because of any of that. It's because a black man said he's not going to move out of the way of a white man. That is why racism still exists in America, in case y'all were not aware. And this is the part that these white people who swear up and down they don't see color and the color of your skin just simply does not fucking matter. Tell me this. Your grandparents were racist. I saw a white lady, the white lady who she has a page dedicated to bashing black women and her love for black men, said her daddy was racist. So what do you think her daddy taught her? Now she has a page dedicated to bashing black women. And if your grandpappy was racist, what did he teach your daddy? And then what did your daddy teach you? And if our grandparents had to deal with racists and they had to be cautious of racists, what do you think they taught us? But who do you think needs to change? The person being racist or the person being cautious of racists? Huh? Oh, well, it doesn't. Y'all cannot tell me that y'all grandparents was racist and y'all are somehow magically not. You expect me to believe that your racist parents and your racist grandparents just woke up one day and said, you know what? Actually, I think I like those blacks. The blacks ain't half bad. Y'all still be at Thanksgiving saying the hard ER.
This is all I got from this video. And sincerely speaking, some people are absolutely delusional. And not until you look at it, you can always figure it out when they speak, right? She actually mentioned that our racism died with Gen X. And I am asking, she probably might not be in the same planet with us, but I am just going to leave her and her ignorant because some people are blatantly ignorant. But this one, I don't know if this is, but sounds kind of dumb to come out here to gaslight yourself and then come on. I love your, what do you love? You know you are lying. You see all this performative attitude they display towards people that look like me. We know it. Black people know it when they say it. Black people know it when they hear you. They know that it's performative. But then with all these things you said, we don't need to be told that you do not care or that you do not like people that look like me. But it's obvious, that you feel black judgment all the time. It is always you people wanting to be victims at any point, any tiny point you get. Any little point you get, you try as much as you can to display your ignorance, to display how silly you are, to display how you also do not know history. I mean, I don't know how to say this, but since this administration started, on a very serious note, guess what it looks like? It looks like there is an importation of racism all over. All over. Why did she delete the video? I actually went back to see her main video, only to find out that she has deleted it. You know, one thing I know for sure is that I know my people. When my people say something, they stand on it. They don't move. But you see that period when you see these people make a post, talk about something, especially people that look like me, and turn around to delete it, it tells a lot. You don't even have the balls to say whatever you want to say because you know that you are lying. The same way the woman that talked about how black fatigue and all that, she also ran to delete the video. Some will end up private in their accounts and all that. But black people see you all. They know you all more than you know yourself. So it's not like it's new. But sometimes there are some things you see. You are probably not in shock, but at the ignorance that that comes with that post, that is probably why they are in shock. But then this is the path you all have chosen. You know what? I am going to draw the curtain here and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.